Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the podcast For the Love of Drama. I've spent the last 3 weeks or more talking about monologues, acting out a couple of monologues that I've written myself. So today I'm going to have a change and I'm going to talk about David Jason, an actor that I admire very, very much. So, David Jason was born 1940, 2nd of February, known as David White back then. As you probably know, he is an incredible actor with an acting career beginning in the 1960s. His many roles include Granville in Open All Hours with the great Ronnie Barker, which began as a pilot episode in 1973. Later on, in 2013, he starred as Granville again in Still Open All Hours until the show finished in 2019. I loved Open All Hours, but I can honestly say I have never watched Still Open All Hours, and I didn't even know about it until a few months ago. So that might be one to watch at some point. He played Blanco in Porridge, and they aged him up for that. He played an old man, and he was only about 30. D.I. Frost in the 1990s TV series Frost, and Pop Larkin, also in the 1990s, in The Darling Buds of May, with Pam Ferris as his wife, and Catherine Zeta-Jones, who played his daughter, Mariette. And of course, who could forget Del Boy, Derek Trotter in Only Fools and Horses, beginning in 1981 and finishing in 2003. I recently read David Jason's autobiography, A Dell of a Life, Lessons I've Learned. From start to finish, I really connected with this book. The philosophy within the book, his way of being grateful for his opportunities, successes, and even the times when things didn't go to plan. He still appreciated all the times things went wrong, the failures, because eventually they led him to something better. He comes across as a very humble man who never takes anything for granted and values his family and friends highly. I would recommend this book to anyone, especially anyone who is interested in drama and performing. Let's talk about a certain TV series. When David Jason was 40, and with something of a reputation for secondary roles in television programs, and that's his words, not mine. For example, Granville in Open All Hours, and Blanco in Porridge, amongst others. He hadn't actually had a leading role, the lead, as it were, if you want to call it that. He was working on Open All Hours when he was handed a script to read through. It was an episode 1 of a comedy called Reddies by John Sullivan. He started reading the script and was very drawn to both the script and the character of Del Boy Trotter. However, the role of Del Boy was originally offered to Jim Broadbent, who declined due to prior theatre commitments. David Jason landed the iconic part by winning over the director with a pitch-perfect imitation of a Cockney accent. And what followed was television history. The on-screen chemistry between David Jason, Nicholas Lyndhurst, and Leonard Pearce as Nicholas Lyndhurst as Rodney, Del's youngest gormless brother, and Leonard Pearce as the endearing grandad. And the three of them formed the beating heart of Peckham. They formed a genuine bond off screen that translated into flawless comedic timing and deep emotional warmth. And the name for the TV series was changed from Reddies to Only Fools and Horses and became one of the most iconic TV series of all time. One thing that I truly admire about David Jason is that he has always maintained his success was never a solo journey. He took his work very seriously, but never himself, proving that the greatest lesson he ever learned from his fellow actors was to share the spotlight and appreciate the team behind the magic. Thank you for watching. Please like, share or subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.